Hi everyone, Rachel Flint here. I am currently on day 7 of my 42 Days of Pizza challenge, and I did not do a vlog the last couple nights. We have had a whole lot going on in our world this week and this month especially, and so as much as I want to do a vlog every night, it's probably just not going to happen every night. So I'm going to do what I can, but you know, that's life, and life is not perfect. But today I wanted to take an opportunity to answer some questions about flexible dieting. So the whole reason I'm doing 42 Days of Pizza is to show you that you can fit treats in every day to your diet, and you don't have to go and just do a clean eating diet. I can't believe I just did air quotes, but I did. You don't have to just do, chicken and vegetables and brown rice and sweet potatoes, and those things are all wonderful and so good for you, and they're delicious, and there's lots of ways to make them interesting. But sometimes you just want a cheeseburger or a taco, or in my case, pizza. So I think it's really important to show you, like I'm doing an extreme version of it to show you that you can have it, and you can even have it every day and still make progress towards your goals as long as you take the right approach. So the right approach is flexible dieting. The method that I use for flexible dieting, there are a couple of different equations that you can use to calculate what your calorie target is. And the first thing, though, before you even get to that point, is to figure out what your body type is, because there are 3 soma types or body types: ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. And there is a quiz on bodybuilding.com. If you just go to bodybuilding.com and type in body type quiz, or if you are watching this from my website in the blog, there's a link down below that will take you straight to it. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what your body type is. The ectomorphs, you guys, are the ones that are hard gainers. It's hard for you. You could eat several thousand calories a day and never gain any fat or any muscle. It's really difficult for you to gain. You've probably been called beanpole and been told really rude things like you should eat a sandwich or things like that. And so if you are an ectomorph, then you will have a different nutrition needs than somebody who is a mesomorph or an endomorph. And by the way, side note, it's just as rude to comment to skinny people as it is to comment and say that somebody is fat. So just don't say it. I'm married to an ectomorph, and one of my very best friends is an ectomorph, and this is total like sidebar rant, sorry, but I'm amazed at the things that people think it's okay to say to them because they're thin as opposed to overweight. So anyway, but they have their own struggles, and it's very, very difficult for them, just as it is for us. It's just in a completely different way. So mesomorphs are the ones who are naturally very muscular, and they gain muscle very easily, but they also gain fat pretty easily. But once they get their nutrition locked down, they get lean super fast, and that's really, to many, that is considered the ideal body type. And then there is the endomorph, which is what I am, which is we're the ones who struggle to get lean and stay lean. Gaining muscle, we can gain muscle okay, but it's still difficult, and gaining fat is way too easy. So our nutrition requirements across the board are just completely different. So first thing you need to do is figure out what your body type is so you know how to approach your nutrition. And then what you can do is figure out, according to the one that I use is the Mifflin-Saint-Jean. I'm not French, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the Mifflin-Saint-Jean equation. And I will also have a link to a calculator at the bottom of this blog so that you can just go to that, and you don't have to do the actual algebraic equation because it's pretty detailed. So what I'm going to do though is show you how it looks. So this is the website I'm using, low power mode, because my battery's about dead. Okay, so it looks like this. And so I'm going to go ahead and plug in my information so you guys have an idea of where I'm starting. So I am 37 years old and female, 5'7" tall, and right now I weigh, this already had most of my information in, but I weighed 140.8 this morning, so I'm going to call it 141. I exercise 3 to 5 times a week, and so I'm going to calculate that. And so this is what it brings up, okay? So it brings up these different ranges based on what your maintenance calories would be, and then if you want to lose 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, or if you want to gain, it gives you a calorie range for those too. So from there, I am picking the 1 pound a week because I want to keep my calories as high as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. I'm not eager to take away any food from myself. It's just how it is. So I'm going to start really high. I know a lot of us want to immediately drop to 1200 calories and just go full throttle at 1200, but what happens when 1200 stops working for you? Then what do? You have to drop it even lower, and then lower, and then lower. And so you're still going to lose at that higher range. So you don't want to drop them too fast. So I put mine at the upper range of this. It says that my maintenance is 2100 calories and that I need 1600 calories a day to lose 1 pound a week. So just to give you an idea how this is working for me, I actually have my target set about 1650 and have only made it to the gym 3 times in the last week, and I lost 2 pounds. So that's just because this says, I mean, this is the most accurate of all the ones I've found, and this is the one that's recommended by the NASM, which is who I have my personal training certification through. So when you figure up these calories, don't automatically go for the 2 pounds a week. Try the pound a week. See how your body responds. Give it a chance. Don't drop just because you don't see a change after a day or two. And give it a chance to work before you start dropping. So many people, if they don't lose after a day or two, they start dropping their calories, and that's a mistake because you're not giving your body a chance to respond. There's so many factors that affect your weight, and it can be that you're gaining muscle. It can be that you're retaining water. It could be that if you're a female, it can be hormonal. It actually could be hormonal for men too. But so there's so many things that impact the scale. So don't be too quick to drop your calories. Keep as many of them as you can because you need those for fuel for your workouts and to get you through a day so that you're not tired and irritable. So that being said, once you have that number, and so I'm going to, even though I'm doing 1650 right now, I'm going to use 1600 just for ease of calculation. So this is what I've got here, and there's a little bit of a glare because of my light that I use for these videos. But so I've got 1600 calories as my target. So my macro breakdown is an endomorph. I am starting with my carbs a little higher than I really was comfortable with, but it's working. And so again, you want to keep as much food and as good of a variety as you can. Don't go low carb just because you think you're carb sensitive. Give your body a chance to respond to the higher ones. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to try to put this here for those who want to screenshot. I'm doing 30% protein and 35% each of fats and carbs. So what on earth does that mean? Okay, so if you take 1600 times 30%, and I have to use a calculator because Rachel does not do math. All right, so 1600 times 30% is 480 calories. So that means that 480 calories need to come straight from protein. All right, and then 35% on fats, so 1600 times 0.35, 560 calories need to come from fat, and then 560 calories also, since it's the same percentage, need to come from carbs. Now, most foods are not straight protein, fat, or carbs, right? So here's how when you're looking at a nutrition label, here's how this breaks down. So each gram of protein has 4 calories. Each gram of carbohydrates also has 4 calories. And each gram of fat has 9 calories. So on a nutrition label, if you take this number times 9, this number times 4, and this number times 4, and you add all of those up, that is how many calories are in your food. So once you know what your macro breakdown is, this is called your macros. The proteins, fats, and carbs are your macros. So once you have those figured out, what I do is I plug them into my FitnessPal, which is an app that I have on my phone. It's a free app, and it actually was purchased by Under Armour recently, and so they've been making, of course there's more ads now, but they've been making a lot of improvements, and so it's a really great app. And I can show you that on another video. We're already at almost 12 minutes, so I'm going to try to cut this short. But so once you have all these numbers, that's your target for the day. So I can plug my macros into my FitnessPal, set my overall calorie target, and it tracks for me throughout the day, and it tells me exactly how many proteins, how many grams of protein I still have left, how many carbs I have left, and how many fats. And so then it's just a matter of working it like a puzzle and making everything fit. And so the next video, I will pull up my FitnessPal and I'll show you exactly how I plug everything in to figure it out. Now, don't freak out, because there is a learning curve to this, but if you're up for the challenge, this will give you a lot more freedom to eat the kinds of foods that you want to eat, and is not nearly as restrictive as clean eating. So if you're up for the challenge, I think you'll find that this is very rewarding, and that it gives you a lot of flexibility, thus the name, flexible dieting. So I really hope that you at least give it a shot. It's not for everybody. Some people are just too busy and they get frustrated with it and it just doesn't click. And, you know, there's more than one approach. Some people do what's called intuitive eating, where they just learn to watch their portions. If you're familiar with Jamie Eason, who is a friend of mine, but she's a very well-known fitness model, she does intuitive eating. She doesn't measure anything. She doesn't weigh it. She doesn't count calories. She doesn't do any of that. She just goes by fueling her body with what she feels that it needs, and she looks incredible. And some people figure out exactly what they want to eat, and they eat the exact same thing all the time. So more than one approach, all of them will work if you stick with them. You just have to find the one that's best for your personality, your schedule, your family, and stick with it. There are times where I'll veer off and say, you know what, I'm not going to count today. I need a break, I need a mental vacation. And so I won't count for, I even actually went a couple of weeks, but I've been doing the macros long enough that I had a pretty good idea of what I needed to consume to be in the general range of where I needed to be. I made sure I stayed active and drank lots of water also. So, that being said, the only other thing I have to add is that your macros, and I can go more into that later too, but your macros, the ones that I track, are my sugars and my fiber, and I addressed that in another video, but I try to stay under 25 grams as a general rule on sugars, and it's really easy. They add up so fast. And I try to get over 25 grams of fiber. To be perfectly honest, I fail miserably on that most of the time, because I have to be really intentional about my fiber intake, and I just don't do a great job with it a lot of times. But because I'm watching my sugars very carefully, and they're higher right now during this 42 days of pizza challenge, but they're still under 50 most of the time. So I keep those low, pay attention to my macros, make sure I'm going balls to the wall during my workouts, because they're only 45 minutes long. And so if they're going to help me achieve my goals, then that doesn't leave much room for messing around. So if you have any questions, please email me, Rachel@fitlikeflint.com, RACHEL@fitlikeflint.com, or you can find me at Fit Like Flint on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. That you can get to me any of those ways. I check those pretty often throughout the day. So I would be really eager to hear your feedback and any questions that arise. And on the next episode, which I should be able to get to tomorrow, I'll pull up the MyFitnessPal app, show you how I plug everything in and how I kind of plan out my day without being too rigid. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.